What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Lockdown 23 and 1. Today we're going to be talking about some of the most common prison or jail terms that I use, okay? And I already made a video kind of like this, but that was about Google's prison terms. That's right, I was seeing what Google said was the most common terms and what they meant, and a lot of them I never even heard before, but a lot of people from the West Coast say that they heard some of those words quite often. But today we're going to be talking about what words I used all the time in lockup and exactly what their meaning is. You know what I mean? I can't sit here and tell you how to say it. I mean, you can learn this stuff all you want and go to jail and try using them, but I can promise you're going to mess up. You know, it takes practice, it takes doing time to really know how to use these words in a phrase, man, for real. And if you go to jail and you start using them the wrong way, people are going to be like, man, what the hell? You know, using the term in a sentence that has nothing to do with what's going on. They're like, man, what the hell? What have you been reading? How to talk like a convict for idiots? You know what I mean? You can't just go in there and start using this lingo the wrong way. It might get you tricked up, my friends. And that's another term that I use all the time, tricked up. You know, get you caught up in some stuff. Get beat up. Anything. Alright, so for the first one, just keep in mind you might see a few cutscenes because I wrote them down. These are the terms that I commonly used or heard on a regular basis. So I do apologize if it's not straight through. You know what I mean? So the first one is getting over on you. That's right. Homeboy's trying to get over on you. I mean, you know, that usually means he's trying to rob you in a way or trick you or charge you too much for an item. You know, if someone says 2 for 3, and that's another word I'm going to talk about later. But if he's overcharging you with interest, he's getting over on you. If you hear someone say that about you, you know, you're probably not in a good situation. Alright? Getting over on you. Alright, next is oiled up, boots smoked. Alright, oiled up or boots smoked. I hear this all the time. That's when you go to the courtroom. I don't know why they say this, but let's say you go to courtroom, you're expecting to get 1.5 years, 2 years, and you come out with 10 years. Okay? That's called oiled up. The judge just poured all that petroleum oil on you and lit your boots on fire. Your boots are smoked. That means you got a lot more time than you were expecting. If someone says that about you, you are not in a good position, my friends. Next one is all money is good money, or all money on the wood is good. And I'll tell you, I hear this all the time because I'm a gambler. You usually hear this when you're gambling, or you might hear someone scream in the block or something. You know, poker games jumping, all money's good money. You know, that usually means you can bring anything. You can bring hygiene, stamps. It doesn't matter. Most poker tables say, hey, food items only. But if you hear all money is good money, that means you can bring anything. I'm talking about the smallest of things. You might even be able to bring an indigent pack, which is, you know, free stuff. Stamped envelopes that come from the state. You could possibly bring any of that. Or you could bring some steak cakes, whatever. You know, all money is good money. And all money on the wood is good is typically when you're playing CeeLo or shooting dice, and before you make your bet, if you haven't dropped no money on the floor yet, you know, you ain't bet. But before that guy rolls the dice and you drop some money, that means, hey, if the money hits the ground, if the money hits the wood, it's good. You know what I mean? So be sure to drop that money at the right time. Next is CO or DEP. Okay, a lot of people come in, you can really tell someone's new if they say, hey, correctional officer, deputy correctional officer, I need you. No, don't call the police like that. Hey, if you need to speak to the correctional officer or the deputy at hand, hey, say, CO, or hey, DEP, you know what I mean? But I see a lot of people first coming into jail and they say correctional officer and everyone looks at him like, homeboy's fresh, you know what I mean? He's fresh, we gonna get him, he's about to get got. Same goes for cellmate. You don't say, hey, my cellmate needs to borrow something. You say, hey, my cellie. All right, these terms are, you don't say the whole freaking term. That just shows that you've never done time. Never say cellmate either. Just say cellie. The next term is commonly used by another prison channel. That's right, Mr. Big Herc himself. Y'all see people in the comment section all the time saying wig splitter. Checking in. That's right, this is a common term. Getting your wig split. Getting your skin pushed back to the white meat. Getting your cap peeled back. Alright? You might hear, you know, getting your skin peeled back to the white meat. I don't know if you ever had a cut and it was really bad and the first thing you see is like white before it starts bleeding. Okay? So yeah. And that term usually means, you know, he got beat up real bad or he lost a bet really bad. You know what I mean? Something really bad happens. If they say something like that about you, you're not in a good position, my friends. Suitcase. That's right. You'll hear the term suitcase on a regular basis. Just someone stuffing something up their butt trying to hide it from the correctional officers. That's it. Oh, I mean COs. Pardon me. Pardon my French. Fishing. That's right. Fishing could have a few terms. I remember I was in the hole fishing. I did a lot of fishing. Okay, I would rip the sheets and make a long fishing line. I guess you could say it's a long rope tied together of pieces of sheet ripped apart, usually with a piece of something heavy in an envelope tied to it. When I was in the hole, I used to sling this jank down about 10 cells. I'm talking about this. My fishing line was 100. I'm talking about my fishing game was 100. I would sling this, my fishing line all the way down to this Rastafarian cell because he was doing all his time in there because he didn't want to cut his dreads. And he had all the tobacco. The only thing you can buy in the hole pretty much is hygiene and stamps. So I would send books and books of stamps to this Rasta for tobacco. You know what I mean? And my fishing game was on 100. I'm talking about this hole had so many fishers. You would see just like 13 fishing lines. Sometimes they'll get tangled up. You'll hear them say, CO's coming in, CO's coming in. And then they'll trying to get that fishing line in, they all get tangled up. You know what I mean? They're all tangled up. It looks like freaking, it's like electrical lines in there, man. I hate it when that happens. But sometimes it does. Sometimes it does. You know what I mean? Fishing. And also you can get on the phone and dial random numbers. That's called going fishing as well. Or you could say, hey, homeboy's trying to fish. He's fishing. You know what I mean? He could be trying to get information from you. He's fishing. He sent out the line. He's trying to get intel. So fishing could mean multiple things. Next is eye hustle, man. You'll hear this a lot. People will come into your cell that you really don't know, and they'll just come to your cell to eye hustle it. Look around in your cell for later on to figure out what they're going to be taking from you. So if you hear somebody say, hey, someone's been eye hustling your cell, you're probably not in a good position, my friends. Banger. You'll hear this term all the time in the penitentiary, all right? It's pretty much a weapon. Shank. Banger. Simple as that. If you hear someone say, hey, homeboy's got a banger and he's coming to get you, hey, you're not in a good position, my friends. Next on the list is $150. That's right, you'll hear this a lot in jail, prison, or the streets. It's a scar that goes across your face that usually, represents roughly you got to get 150 stitches. It doesn't have to be exactly 150, but usually when you see a huge scar across someone's face, it's a sign of their mark. They might be a snitch. They might have got a rival gang member cut them up or something. It's usually a sign of mark. I usually stay away from people that got a huge scar on their face in prison for the simple fact that they could very well be a snitch. $150. If someone says they're about to give you a $150, you're probably not in a good position, my friends. Cadillac. That's right. I heard many terms for Cadillac. It could be a form of drinking coffee. It could be one of the best mattresses you've ever had. It could be a brand new mattress. Sometimes jails and prisons, they get new merchandise, which means new mattresses or new pillows, something along those lines. And whenever I got a brand new mattress, I called it a Cadillac. That's what it was, man. So you sleeping good, you cruising good on that money. If you're brand new to jail and you've never been locked up ever in your life and you walk in with a brand new Cadillac mattress, someone's probably going to try to get that. And you might not be in a good position, my friend. Next is putting a battery in his back or got him gassed up. Okay, these terms are commonly used. Battery in his back usually means someone, what do you do? When you put a battery in a toy, what does it do after you put the battery in it? It moves, okay? You can sit there and talk someone to do something, okay? He put a battery in his back. He got him all gassed up, putting that inspiration in his heart to go do something that he probably would never do if you never spoke to him. Putting a battery in his back. Next on the list is let's catch some recreational sports. In jail or prison, when someone says, hey, let's catch some rec, that usually means sometimes it could be the rec yard. Yeah, it could be the rec yard, but most of the time means, hey, we're about to fight. So if someone says, hey, go to the cell, we're about to catch some rec, you're probably not in a good position, my friend. The next one is pretty funny. You'll hear it a lot. You'll hear the term Jack Johnson or Jody or reversible starter coat. These guys are notorious for sleeping with your old lady while you are locked up. If you hear anybody saying, hey man, she with Jody, you know what I mean? She's with reversible starter coat. They're pretty much saying, hey, your girl's out there sleeping around and you might not be in a good situation, my friends. Next on the list is having the monster, the ninja star, the monkey, the Kawasaki 3000. If the nurse comes back and says anything along those lines, that means you have HIV or AIDS and you're probably not in a good position, my friends. Kick rocks. That's right, you'll hear that. I still use this term on a regular basis, and you'll see me write it in replies in the comments section. If someone has a problem with my channel, I'll say, hey bro, kick freaking rocks. I don't give a damn what you think about my channel, man. Kick rocks. That means get up out of here. Walk the track. What do you do when you walk the track in the penitentiary? You kick some rocks. It means get up out of here, man. Next is 2 for 3. You're gonna hear this probably more than any of these, man. That's right. If you ever happen to have to borrow something, you're gonna hear the term 2 for 3, which is not a bad deal. Okay, you're gonna get 2 of those items for 3 back. I wouldn't recommend you borrowing anything, but hey, I borrowed stuff all the time. If I ran out of something, I want to make a swallow, I didn't have no pickles left, I would get 2 for 3. Now, if someone says 2 for 4, nah, ain't happening. You know what I mean? I ain't doing it. It's like the worst price in the world. 2 for 4, man, you're just trying to beat me across the head now. Another term, beat me across the head, means you're just trying to get over on me, rob me, get over on me. See, I'm throwing all this stuff together into one phrase. It could get tricky being a convict now. It could be very tricky learning to speak like a convict. But yeah, 2 for 3. That's a good term for borrowing stuff. If someone says 2 for 3, it's usually a good deal. Jump on it. Next on the list is shots, flicks, black and whites, colors. You'll hear these terms if someone's trying to buy some pornography. And I got a funny story about that, man. Funny story. I'm going to save it for tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to have some prison yard stories. Some of them pertain with me and GRIZZY being on the same compound and us in the same block in jail. Man, oh man. Funny times, funny times. But yeah, flicks, black and whites. If someone says, hey man, you got any flicks? You got any black and whites? That usually means they're trying to find some porn. Some Fox magazines that's been photocopied in the library. You know what I mean? That's why they come out black and white. If you get the color ones, whew, they're worth some money, my friends. Colors is where it's at. If you get some color janks, you might be in a good position. Next is gunning, or number 1 gunner, okay? If you hear someone say, hey, homeboy's gunning, look, do not go near him. That means he's, playing with himself. If the nurse walks in and he's gunning her down, that usually means he's playing with himself in front of her, something like that. If you hear that word, stay far away from whoever they're talking about, because you might see something you don't want to see, and then, my friend, you will be in a bad position. Now, last on the list is if someone's calling you sweet or sweet money. That usually means, hey, I could bring you to the poker table anytime and I'm guaranteed to win all of your money because you're sweet money. You don't know how to play poker. You don't know how to play spades. Hey, you can play with me all day long. I'm going to take your money all day long. Sweet money. They could also call you sweet because you've got a little sugar in the tank. That's another word, another phrase. If someone says you got sugar in the tank, I think you already know what that means. You know what I mean? If you don't, read the comment section. I'm sure someone will say what it is. These are some of the most common terms that I heard in jail, and the list goes on. And I'll save that for part 2 of how to talk like a convict. But I hope you enjoyed. If you haven't hit that like and subscribe button, please do so now. Don't forget to check out the links in the description of the video. Add me up on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. I've been gaming a lot. Last night, I got to round 38 in Zombies and Black Ops 3. It was a good one. It was a good run. Good run. But I'm always gaming, so add me up on Twitch. And go check out Teespring. The link's in the description of the video as well. Go buy yourself some merchandise. And as always, I want to salute to every last one of you who have been supporting me since the beginning and everyone who is just now joining the compound. Y'all be easy out there.